Well, we're halfway through week 5 of the LCS Spring Split, which also means we're halfway through Spring Split. Of course, this coverage brought to you by Alienware here in the LCS Arcade powered by Alienware. I'm joined right now by Aphromoo, who you just smashed your opponents into a pulp. I mean, it was pretty one-sided.
Kinda. I mean, after the early invade on Smithy, where we got to take his Gromp Blue Splash, he wasn't really in the game. Grig's super on top of always just... I almost cursed. Always...
You can curse in this interview. I don't care. Yeah.
Okay, always fucking the enemy jungler.
Yeah.
So he really didn't get to farm or be able to make any gank plays, anything like that. So he was just super far behind. And having a jungle lead right now in this meta is just super beneficial.
I was going to ask you about that. You mentioned Grig's usually on top of that type of thing, but I feel like Grig in particular has received a lot of flack from some of the analysts and community. Do you feel as though he's been struggling?
No. When we failed, I mean, people are going to look bad.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really matter. I think Grig actually plays really well all the time. We always know where the enemy jungler is. He's always tracking, always plays his champions to the fullest. One of the top people that spam games on our team for solo queue in general. And he's always thinking about the game. Great ideas. So, I mean, I love playing this guy. And realistically, we haven't played together yet. So, I don't really think you can expect us to all be on the same page immediately. Yeah. But I love playing with Grig. He's always on top of everything.
Then I also kind of want to ask you about Dig right now, because I feel like Dig is just so... I never know what I'm going to get when you guys go into the game. Like, you've had really dominant games and also games where it hasn't looked dominant at all. So what do you think it is that's brought about this inconsistency?
Yeah, first things first is just being able to connect. I think individually everybody's really good in their lanes. Either go even, win. Haven't seen us lose yet, I think. Yeah. So, yeah, just being able to connect. And what I mean by that, I've actually been watching a little bit of Haikyuu. It's a volleyball anime. And it's pretty similar concepts. I've learned a lot on how to play as a team. So connecting is like making sure the 4-man bot side is connected. So you see C9 do this really well when you're doing bottom side vision control, where it's like you push the wave, then get some vision, make sure the enemy bottom is at the tower, push one more, and then get full river control, stuff like that. So we're working on that a lot and being able to fight in that area.
Have you thought about having the rest of the team watch this anime?
No. I don't think anyone has watched it yet except one of our coaches. Yeah.
You've probably had, speaking of coaches, you've probably had a lot of coaches and folks helping you with the mental and like trying to bring the sports psychologist. How is this anime compared to all the lessons you've learned through professionals?
Oh, wow. I don't know if I can compare it to professionals because I've learned a lot from both, but the anime in general just, shows team bonding, has a lot of key words to use where it's like you need to connect, you have your role, everyone plays their role to the fullest, and you learn things from your opponents, all that kind of stuff. So I actually cried 5 times watching this anime too. It's so good.
So just to be clear, role has been a term in the LCS and League for a long time. I don't know if you know this, but there's 5 different roles in the game. So I don't know if that's a new term.
Oh, no. I meant like new terms like saying a word and then your team recognizing what that means. So like set plays, etc.
I see. What I'm so fascinated. I don't give a shit about anime, but I'm so fascinated by this situation where you're like, I'm learning and growing by watching this anime. How many episodes is it?
That's 4 seasons right now. 25
Still going.
episodes each. Yeah, still going.
I've heard sports anime is like a really big thing now.
I haven't actually watched any sports animes, and this one came out in like, I don't know, 2012 or 2014, but then I finally started watching it, and I was like, oh, makes me want to play volleyball.
And do you have other weebs on your team?
Yeah. Johnson watches anime. I think a couple other people have watched anime, but not all the time.
And you're not pushing this on them?
No. Maybe later. Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's talk about the halfway point in the split. How do you feel about Dig in general now that we're halfway through and you guys have to ramp up to playoffs?
Oh, I feel great. I love playing with all my teammates. Just being able to work together, connect on the same page of what we want to do, how we want to play, is really important. And I think we're really getting into like what is the most important drafting wise as well. And everybody participates and has their opinion on like what is OP and what is not. And having that discussion is just super healthy. So it just makes for a great atmosphere.
Well, other than that, What is it? What's been going on behind the scenes? Have you guys done anything interesting? I know you have a new facility now, so I'm just kind of curious. Like outside of the game, what's it been like being on Dig?
Personally, for me, first time I've done the home work facility, like travel and come back home type of thing. I love it. So I've been in a team house the past 8 years, and then transitioning to this, it's just a lot more healthier and freeing, and you get to reset a lot easier. So that's a plus. And other than that, I think we've just been enjoying all the time we've spent together. So everybody's playing as hard as they can. Even though we do have 4 losses, we don't think like any major problems occurred during those. It was just we really weren't on the same page, didn't understand how we were supposed to play it together. And I think going into the later half of the split, definitely making playoffs. And I just want to get to them in the first loss, no matter what.
When do you play?
I think it's next week, actually. C9, yeah. Not too sure.
Well, you have to hope nobody else gets to them first.
They're looking pretty good. I don't know who they play next, but we'll see.
Well, is there anything you want to say to any of the fans out there?
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Haven't been streaming too much, but just been enjoying life, practicing with my team, making sure we can make playoffs and win.
Thank you so much for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. Hey, don't go anywhere, because maybe you haven't subscribed yet. And if you haven't subscribed, you need to do that. And if you are subscribed, you need to hit the bell so that when I post 3 interviews in a single day, you get a notification for every single one. By the way, you might notice as I'm gesturing this really great watch that I'm wearing. You see how I did that? You thought it was a pitch for subscribing, but it's actually a pitch for the watch, which is made by Movement, as well as these glasses. There's a link in the video description. They're an amazing sponsor that supports our LCS coverage here, and they make this whole thing possible because, let's face it, LA costs are crazy. Anyway, thanks to Movement. Also, thanks to Alienware for being my sponsor and for sponsoring so much of what we do. Both great sponsors with great products that you should go buy because that helps me out.